Well, one of my concerns is when you get in that many debates, and I think it all started with, I don't know if it's been 18 or 20 or how many, eventually you're going to say something that can be that soundbite. Everyone would do it. And so I think at some point we have to understand, is that worth the continuing every night debate? And so I worry a little bit too about our candidates having a negative campaign towards each other. I like the Ronald Reagan 11th commandment, thou shalt not speak ill against another Republican. I think we need to remember some of that. But when we come through this vetting process, whoever comes out of that is going to be a man of iron.
That's a plus and a minus. Our candidates are getting stronger. They're getting to be better debaters. They're covering every issue that they're going to have to talk about in the general election anyway. But at the same time, I agree with Phil that there's that many more things that when the Republicans fight that can be used against them. But people forget, though, that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were duking it out in June of 2008, and so it didn't work out. It worked out just fine for the president. So I think that once we name a nominee, we will have a galvanized Republican, conservative, independent base around the party. Yeah, I'd love to see it be more positive.
You mentioned
people want to be uplifted. We're coming out of the worst downturn in the economy since the Great Depression. People are hurting. Millions of people, tens of millions of people, either unemployed or underemployed. They don't want to hear about excuses. They don't want to hear about delays. They don't want more finger pointing. They want results, and they want to have somebody be positive. And I'd like to see more of that. Well, I've made my choice, and I have a different choice than Senator Santorum. And I think Mitt Romney is the guy focusing on the issues that people really are going to vote on: jobs, the economy, taxes, spending, and so forth. But I don't think there's any way. There's been a month where people have talked about this in an inordinate amount. I think ultimately it's going to pivot back to what voters care about. Voters determine what the issues are, not politicians, not the press. It's ultimately the voters. And they're going to vote on, can they get back to work? Can they get this crushing and unsustainable and immoral national debt under control? And can we restore America's leadership position as the greatest country on earth? I mean, that's what they're going to vote on.
The Republicans that I talk to, and Bob may know also, but they say that once we come out of this process, we're certainly going to get behind the nominee. Have no doubt. It's not as if half the team is going to say we're going to take our ball and go home.
That's right.
No, this is a dedicated, solid Republican organization that we feel across the nation that says we're going to get behind our nominee, and we're going to